What is the most powerful tool you can have prior to the launch of your next book? Nerd Nation. Okay, today we're going to talk about building your email list before your book even launches. The most powerful marketing tool that everyone rarely talks about. 500 email subscribers will outsell social media following of 5,000 people every single time. And here's why. All right. So who am I? Sterling Nixon. I'm the writer of all these books, and I've been writing since 1999, published since 2009, and happy to share some insights of what I've discovered is very effective. All right, some key differences between your email list that you can garner as well as followers, let's say on your social media. So here's some key metrics. All right. So as far as a return on your email list, usually for every dollar spent, you can get $36 to $42. Average open rate is 20 to 40% versus, let's say, a Facebook, it's 1 to 5% organic reach. And nowadays, it's less than 2% of reach today versus in 2012, it was 16%. So it was a lot more effective back in the day. Meanwhile, email lists have always been kind of silently work in the background, being effective, even though not too many people focus on them. Your list is yours forever. Now, this is a key important thing to remember when it comes to email lists. When TikTok nearly vanished overnight in the US, millions of creators lost access to their entire audience instantly. Instagram's algorithm has changed dramatically multiple times. Your email list cannot be taken away by a platform update, a ban, or a corporate decision. So, email powers launch spike. Amazon rewards books that sell strongly in the first 24 to 72 hours with increased visibility and bestseller rankings. A launch day email to even 3 to 500 warm subscribers creates exactly that spike, turning your list into free advertising. If you have that faithful readership and they are reading your emails, they're engaging with you, that a lot of times is a much more powerful tool. All right, get these three things in place before you chase a single subscriber. Email service provider, ESP. The software that stores subscribers, sends emails, and tracks results. Never use personal Gmail, it gets flagged as spam. So there's a lot of different platforms out there. There's ConvertKit, free up to 1,000 email list. MailerLite, free up to 1K to 12K emails per month. Upgrade to Drip for serious automation and segmentation as you grow. We'll talk about Drip in a little bit more detail. All right. Then you want a dedicated landing page. One job only. Convince someone to give you their email. This is a much bigger ask now than it was, let's say, in the past. The benefit driven headline, not sign up for my newsletter. So in order to get enough subscribers to make your list effective, you want to be constantly getting people to sign up for your email list, getting their email, capturing their email, right? But you got to make it enticing for them. You have to make it interesting. So if you get 1 to 2 sentences on what they get, a single email input field, action button, send me the next chapter's beats, subscribe every time. So some sort of draw, right? So you have a landing page, you have some sort of draw. Why should I give you my email? Maybe you could offer some chapters, some audiobook chapters, and then just make it very simple. If you want those chapters, put your email here and have an action button that takes them to the right spot. A lead magnet. Nobody gives away their email in 2026 for nothing. Offer genuine value. Best for fiction, the first 1 to 3 chapters of your book, an exclusive prequel, a world building guide, or character profiles. For Acadia, the opening chapters and exclusive tiers, sacred score guide, extraordinary. What I do is I actually give away the training manual, Acadia Field Manual. This is full of the different creatures and armor types and a kind of a backstory of the society, right? So this would create a lot of intrigue. People look at it, they see the pictures. Oh, this is very interesting. And then they go through a series of emails of welcoming and talks about the series. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay, so you start with an enticing landing page. They're interested, and then you give them some added value, some free chapters, free content of some sort. Explain to them what they're going to get in exchange for providing their email, such as we're going to have these sort of Q&A sessions, or you have direct access to the author, or you can hit me up directly, and you also get these chapters, right? All right. So let's talk about the different uh, email providers out there. Email, they can send out large, massive emails. Also, they have automation kits that as soon as someone subscribes, they start going through the email chain. So best start is the Covert Kit. It's free up to 1,000. Okay, authors and bloggers built for creators, excellent automation, clean interface. Pretty simple start. Then you could go, the most generous is the Mailer Lite. It's got 1,000 subs that are free, and you can send 12,000 emails per month. So some of these platforms, they charge per email, some charge per subscriber list, sometimes they can charge either way, and sometimes they have automatic billing depending if you've hit that next tier of subscribers. For a beginner, MailChimp, super easy to use, free up to 500. Most recognized name, easy drag and drop, starting point, but limits show as you grow, right? So it's pretty user friendly, but it's also pretty basic interface. Drip, now I've used Drip quite a bit before in the past. I found it very intuitive. It is quite expensive, and I believe it's, as soon as you sign up, you're paying for it, and it's like, I think it's every 5,000 or so subscribers. It can get pretty pricey, but it is very sophisticated automation. You can send like a welcome segments, and you can really send like uh, regular emails through the system. So I do like it quite a bit. It is intuitive, but it also is quite expensive, and you could pay up to hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, depending on how big your email list is. So if you have over 100,000 email subscribers, it can get pretty expensive. Advanced Klaviyo, free up to 250 free. 250. Most powerful but complex, but best for authors selling direct through their own store. I've never used Klaviyo. I have used Drip, and I have used a Shopify account that is linked to Drip to sell items such as shirts, t-shirts, books that have been signed directly to an audience before. So I can't really speak to Klaviyo, but it does sound much more powerful, but it also sounds much more complex. Recommendation is to start with Covert Kit or Mailer Lite, right? I have tried Covert Kit. I also have tried Mailer Lite, but I'm not that experienced in either. So I can't speak to either one of them, but the free subscriber element is pretty good, and it's pretty intuitive, those platforms. Okay, the goal, if you don't have an email subscriber list, the goal is basically to try to get 500 subscribers before launch day. So let's say you have a book coming up and you want to have a lot of press and coverage and media. Well, you can do a lot of social media. That is, and we already talked about that, that is effective, right? But a lot of times a more powerful thing is going to be your email list, right? These are individuals that have direct contact with you. It feels in some ways more personal. You're not just talking at them, but they're also able to reply, and they're able to have interaction. So you can create some really die-hard fans through an email list. And so an email list of 500 subscribers is going to be much more powerful than, let's say, a following on a social media platform of 5,000. All right, your personal network first. 5 to 100 warm subscribers before anything else. Send personal messages, not blasts, to friends, families, and colleagues. Here's a free preview of my novel. I'd love to have you along for launch, right? So you're building that confidence, you're building that communication. You want them to know that this isn't a generic email that you're just sending out, right? But they can respond, they can talk to you, they can have interaction. And a lot of people crave that sort of unique connection with the author, right? They want to ask direct questions to the author and then know that they are the only person getting that response. It's a nice touch from authors. Social bio sign up page. Every single social bio gets one link. your email sign up page with your lead magnet, not Amazon, not your homepage. The goal of all social media is email subscribers, not followers. So if you make a focus on getting those email subscribers, there's some tremendous benefits, right? And we've already talked about quite a few of those, and we'll touch on base a little bit more on those as well. Content that attracts your reader. For Acadia, content about dystopian fiction, sci-fi, world building, merit-based societies, military sci-fi, and every post with a mention of your free lead magnet, right? So you want to create content that is going to draw individuals that want to read your book, right? If you just have generic videos on your social media, you might not draw the right individuals that are going to really enjoy your book. So if you post about content that's going to attract the reader, they sign up for the newsletter, they have a much better idea what they're getting. And then when the emails start coming in, right, it's going to warm them up to later purchase that book that you're about to launch or that you have launched. Newsletter swap with peer authors. This is a very powerful thing. A lot of times authors will do a one-for-one swap. So basically, if they have 10,000 subscribers, you have 10,000 subscribers, you have a similar fan base and you want a similar fan base. You don't want to draw in the wrong readers, right? And you could look at the last couple episodes. I've talked about that pretty extensively of why that's a bad idea. But author swaps are very common and they can be very powerful, right? A lot of times authors will insist that you have a verified list, and there's ways that you can verify it. Just do a little research on that, and then that way you know that they have got a list that's comparable to what your expectation is, right? Book funnel and story origin. A lot of list stuff that I've done before in the past is actually through story origin. So list swaps with other authors, they make it pretty easy. But before you jump into a list swap with another author, you do want to look at their content and make sure that they're just not all about pushing their products, right? Usually that will have a much less interactive email list, right? They will have much less response to emails. So you want to make sure that they're creating content, that they're connecting with their audience prior to doing an author swap. They might have 10,000 emails, but it doesn't mean that they might have 10,000 subscribers in their email chain, but that doesn't necessarily mean that those are people that are vested in that author, right? Look at their content, make sure that they are connecting and that they have a good platform and that they're providing content, not just always pushing their book for sales. Paid list building ads. A $100 Facebook Instagram ad to sign up page can generate 50 to 100 subscribers at $1 to $3 each, which is a far better return on investment than running ads directly to your book page. So one thing that an email list does is warms up your readers to your books, right? In the past episode, we talked about that there's 3 million books published every year, right? There's so much at the buffet table for a reader, right? You have to warm them up, bring them along quite a bit of the ways before they might commit to reading your book. One of the best ways to do that is through an email list. Email list where they can interact directly with the author is pretty powerful. So you can run ads and grow your list that way. And a lot of times that's going to be much more powerful than just saying, buy my book. Here's my book. Look at this, right? So this will add value and create your list. You start growing your list, right? And then you usually get a much better return on investment utilizing that email list. All right, so when you first get someone interested, this is a good strategy to deploy on your welcome letters, right? So you don't immediately want to say, welcome, buy all my books. There is a way to personalize and make it powerful. Make it so that you show some authenticity as well as, hey, I'm a person, I'm a writer, this is what I'm trying to accomplish, this is who I am, right? Please email me, respond to this email, and let me get back to you. So here are some that I found is a really good way to welcome them in, right? First, you send an email right away. They sign up, you send an email right away, you deliver and welcome, send the lead magnet immediately, thank them warmly, briefly say who you are and what they can expect from being on your email list. You're not gonna just give them a deluge of emails, right? But you should have some sort of correspondence once a month. lets them know that you care, that you're thinking about the next book or next project and things like that. And that really kind of warms them up and keeps them thinking about, oh, this book's coming out, this series is coming out. The second email is your story. Why did you write this book? What drove you to create this world? Or even better, is like, as an author, what kind of inspired you? What put you on this path? Make it personal and genuine. Authenticity is key. Day 3, or email 3, is day 4 to 5 out. The world of your book. For Acadia, introduce the tiers, the sacred source, score system, the roaches. I've put a bunch of videos out about the Acadia armor systems, the roaches, that sort of content world building, especially specifically in my genre that I write in, sci-fi, is very palpable to a reader. They want that stuff. They crave it. And when they see a world that's really built out, they're super excited to step into that world, even before they've started the first page. Email 4, about day 7, social proof and community. Show that you've got people reading it, reviewing it, you got some influencers involved, or maybe share some good reviews like, hey, this is what people are saying. And here's the comps that they're looking at, Red Rising or different books out there. This is what they're saying, and this is what they're comparing it to. Your 5th email is the soft sell, day 9 to 10. Now and only now, mention the full book is available. Make it feel neutral and earned and not pushy. 5 emails of genuine value make one sell ask feel completely welcome. So you look at all this, it's just like a conversation, right? If you're a sales person, right, you're selling a product, and you go right in for the sale, right for the throat, without any sort of relationship building or your story, or there's no buy-in, right? And it's very similar to a book, right? If you have this character, chapter 1, this horrible thing happens, and the reader hasn't invested any time or energy in learning their story, their backstory, or why they should care, they're probably not going to go to chapter 2. And it's the very similar in this situation in real life, right? They want to know your story, where you're coming from. Why should they care about who you are in your books, right? And the email gives you a way to systematically and chronologically share that with them. All right, the biggest mistake is going silent, then reappearing only to ask people to buy. Now, I've made this mistake quite a bit. This is a great way to get people to unsubscribe from your email list. All of a sudden, instead of value add to their life and interesting anecdotal information, and then the occasional pitch, it's basically, this is a sales opportunity all the time, right? You're just hammering them. Anyway, so going forward, you want contact. This is after your welcome letter. You want genuine contact at least once a month. Let them know what you're doing, some behind the scenes writing process. If you're already very active on social media, this should be pretty easy. You can pull a lot of content from the stuff that you've posted that month. Anyway, there's a lot of things that you can show them. Book recommendations, answer reader questions, personal stories, exclusive snippets, or deleted scenes. What you don't want to do, or what you do really want to do, is 2 weeks prior to the launch, you want a specific rollout of your email list. 2 weeks out, increase your emails to 2 to 3 emails a week, build visual excitement early on, cover reveal, or you could have pictures of the creatures, the environment, the setup. Countdown, release date, and pre-order incentives. Launch day, single email, 1 link, 1 ask. Maximum urgency. Sometimes when you put like 10 or 3, 4, sometimes 10 links in an email, that just gets distracting. It gets confusing. You've built this relationship with them at this point. Basically, you're saying single email, 1 link, 1 ask. Hey, the book's out now. If you want to support me, this is a great opportunity to do so. 48 hours later, follow up for non-openers of the email launch. So a lot of these platforms, they will have really good statistics and data that they will provide you about who's opening emails and who's not. You can follow up 48 hours with another email. A lot of emails get so much junk in them, whatnot. Even if someone's really interested in reading your emails, they might not have received it simply because they missed it. They didn't see it. Sending a follow-up email 48 hours later, just one, right? You don't want to inundate them with a bunch of follow-up. Can be really powerful. A lot of people will be grateful that you sent it again because they missed it the first time. All right, drip as your list grows, send different messages to different groups. Pre-order buyers get different emails than those who haven't purchased yet. So With Drip, you can really segment your audience, right? You can say, hey, this audience is really warm. They've bought a lot of books. You can track that through different metrics, especially if you're using Shopify and whatnot. They're going to get a different email set than the individuals that still need to be warmed up to the process. And you can segment this in Drip, and I've done that very successfully in the past. And that's a much more advanced technique, but it is very powerful. Avoid these, and your list will be a genuine marketing asset every right. Buying an email list. Do not buy a list. Don't scalp emails off of other people's emails list if they happen to send it without protecting those emails. That's a great way to get blackballed, and people just won't want anything to do with you. Don't buy a list. Just not good. Only emailing when you want something. I've been guilty of this a lot of times. I was sending emails out just when a release was coming up. Like I said, that becomes very sales pitchy, and people just aren't interested or invested at that point. It comes across less authentic. Boring subject lines. This is self-explanatory. Obviously, people aren't going to open it if it's not exciting. Making it hard to unsubscribe. If you have a good platform like Drip, the unsubscribe button's at the bottom, which honestly, that's not a bad thing. If they just don't see value in your email content, make it easy for them to exit, right? There's no reason to have them if this is just not a positive experience for them. Never testing anything. You can do through your email list. You should be able to do A and B testing. We've talked a little bit about that, but basically having two different emails, let's say subject lines, whatnot, what's getting more opens, right? And that will get you to systematically learn the best way to approach these emails. All right. Couple key things. Opt-in only. You want them to want to opt into your emails, right? You want to email regularly, at least once a month, and then pick up your emails a lot more prior to the launch. And then your welcome sequence should be probably about 3 to 5 emails, warming them up. Easy to unsubscribe, and A/B testing. All right, here's the big difference between email lists and social media. You own it. Social media, you don't. You could lose that platform tomorrow. Average reach is 20 to 40% open rate versus organic reach on social media, 1 to 5%. Algorithm control, there is no algorithm control on your email list. You have that list. Platform decides who sees you. They can push up and amplify your videos. They can de-amplify your videos. Return on investment for $30 to $40. You usually have spent $1 when you've earned $30 to $40 over a period of time. Higher variable, hard to measure with social media. Some people get much higher ROI, some people lower, but email is pretty consistent. Launch day, it's direct, it's immediate, and you can get a spike of sales. And social media, it's organic posts. You don't know who's going to see it, if it's going to be amplified or not. So it's less certain. Long-term asset grows more valuable over time. As you invest time in it, energy, and you build those relationships, it's going to be an asset that will carry you through decades of being a writer. Platform can vanish overnight. We talked about that a little bit with social media. It could get unplugged. It could get found, hyper regulated and just get removed, or the algorithm could change. So many problems could happen with your social media. All right, 3 takeaways in your homework. Leave with a clear plan. Your email list is your only audience you truly own. Start building it today before your book exists, or before your next book comes out. Your lead magnet is key. Offer something genuinely valuable, and the subscribers will come. The welcome sequence is your most powerful marketing tool. Get those 5 emails right, and strangers will become loyal readers. All right, your homework is sign up for a free Covert Kit or MailerLite account today. Set up a landing page. Pick one lead magnet. You don't need to be perfect. You need it to exist. Every day your list isn't growing is a day you can't get back before launch. All right, so question of the day: how effective have you found email lists as an author, or maybe in another product that you're selling, or that you advertise for, or that you have an email list for? All right. So if you want more, please do the things like comment below, subscribe, check out sterlingnixon.com. Also check out my merch page. And I'm still doing a race to 1,000. See the comments below if you want to get the first 2 free audiobooks of my new series, Acadia. Okay. I guess we have 2 questions a day. What is another email platform you have used and found powerful and useful? Next episode, this completes our 6-episode series of the marketing, or this completes the 6th episode of the marketing series. I will still continue to put out episodes like this. They're going to be more geared up to writing books and content creation, as well as creating good characters and things of that nature. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.